mean, physically, nobody doubts that you are ready for every single game. But how do you prepare mentally? You have so much on your shoulders at 19.
Yeah, I mean, everybody talk about pressures, you know, and every time I step on the court, I just want to have fun. The time I don't have fun, I just don't play so good, you know.
With the lay-in, and Luka Doncic with the full corner on the buzzer. Are you kidding me? The young man, 18 years old.
With the third pick in the 2018 NBA draft, the Atlanta Hawks select Luka Doncic.
We got Luka here, and I know you're wearing an Atlanta hat, but if a trade goes through according to Woj, you will actually be headed to Dallas.
With Dallas, you know, they've been talking to me, they were so nice to me, and I'm glad, you know, I'm just happy to be in the NBA.
In his first season from Slovenia, number 77, Luka Doncic.
Indeed. Got it. Here in the corner, Luka. How did he do it? How did he do it? That is Luka magic.
Against Gobert, tailed by McDaniel. And a foul.
Finish that hustle play. On a platter for Jones to climb the ladder, but after
Brown getting some early minutes here. Taj Gibson on the floor as well. And how open Luka Doncic with a little spice.
Doncic goes for the lead. 10-point lead here, but that's just Rudy Gobert in an impossible situation.
The Lakers just got Luka Doncic.
Quite literally, the craziest trade in NBA history just went down.
Exactly 1 year ago, a series of events transpired to create the monster you see before you. A lot has changed since then, and I think it's time we took a look back at what was the league's most shocking trade. If you don't know who I am, let me introduce myself. I'm not the hero that the Lakers deserves, but the one it needs. I am Luka's putting up monster numbers, but there's one small problem. It isn't exactly translating to wins. I mean, sure, the Lakers have a winning record, but as of recording, the Lakers are far away from having a top seed in the West. And when matched up with above 500 teams, the Lakers have a 7-6 record, with all 6 of those losses being blowouts. So what gives? With a player like Luka dropping these kinds of numbers day in and day out, shouldn't the Lakers be title favorites? Well, the answer might be more complicated than you think. Luka's psyche has been forever altered because of this transaction, and it might lead to his downfall, if not acknowledged in time. I will be doing just that. Today, we'll be discussing the pitfalls of this trade, not only from the Dallas perspective, but what it means to Luka and his legacy. And the answer might surprise you. To look at the deeper problem, however, we first have to go back to the summer of 24. Luka Doncic and company are coming off an awesome playoff run and a disappointing loss in the finals to the worst franchise of all time. Jaylen Brown ended up winning the finals MVP, and the Mavericks had to leave the season bruised from the beating the Celtics dealt them. However, Dallas fans had no reason to hang their head. Luka was still just 25 and the team was trending in the right direction. Later that offseason, they signed Klay Thompson, an all-time great three-point shooter, to complement Luka's game, and brought back the defensive pieces to take another run at the title. Which would surely be a long time, right? Right? Well, other bad faith actors, Nico Harrison, had it in their minds that the reason why they lost in the finals was because of defense. Specifically, Luka Doncic's defense. Never mind that Luka averaged 29.2 points, 8.8 rebounds, 5.6 assists on 53% true shooting. The whole reason why you're in this position in the first place is because Luka averaged stats similar to that of Michael freaking Jordan. But never mind that. As well as the defensive concerns, Nico Harrison thought Luka was outright lazy and fat. I don't know what Nico was seeing, but it must have looked something like this. That 2024-25 season, Luka had been dealing with a wrist injury that would sideline him for the first part of the season. And later on in the middle of the season, he would also be sidelined with leg injuries. This, coupled with the weight gain that comes with inactivity, set a fire in Nico to trade for someone who's not only a worse offensive player, but a more injury-prone one. And so he traded Luka Doncic, Maxi Kleber, and a second-round pick for Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a first-round pick. Now, not to hate on Anthony Davis, because he's one of my favorite players in the league, and I always defended him when he was unjustly blamed for some of the Lakers' struggles. But I'd be lying if I told you that I wasn't exhausted, coming into every game, watching AD stumble, grimace, head back to the locker room, and not know if he was coming back. And just for funsies, I looked up how many times AD has done that in his career, and he actually leads the NBA in mid-game locker room trips, with the number being a whopping 187 times. Holy injury, Batman, that's a lot. But back to the topic of the trade. The trade was atrocious. It never should have happened. But hey, Nico had a vision, and he was very obviously short-sighted in that vision. And to be fair to him, the construction of the team is not terrible. It's actually a very good team, at least for the 33 minutes we saw of it. But that's not the issue with the trade. The problem was what he got in return. If Mikal Bridges can net out 5 first-rounders and Rudy Gobert for 4, how in all that is good in this world can you only get 1 first-round pick for Luka Doncic? Just 1? That will forever be such a mystery to me. If you're going to trade him, then just put him out in the market and get the best package for him. If anything, it'll just net you more picks and at least Austin Reeves from the Lakers. There is no world in which the Lakers don't take Luka in any version of a deal. Nico could have asked for the drafting rights of LeBron James the 13th if he wanted to. This was total malpractice by the mass front office and the people surrounding them. Everyone involved in that trade should just be put in a raft and exiled from the basketball world. And 1 year later, the trade looks even worse. Luka's still putting up numbers that only GOATs pull off, and he's only 26. While on the other hand, Anthony Davis at 31 is injured again. And they're even talking about having surgery and completely shutting him down at the end of the season. Everything in Dallas would be completely depressing if not for the insane luck that was them receiving Cooper Flag. I truly hope they get better management to properly build around this kid and not waste his early years like they did Luka. There's one more pressing issue here. That is, the issue that comes in the form of this year's Luka Doncic. Don't get me wrong, the Slovenian Nightmare is having a hell of a season and is rightfully going on his revenge tour. In reality, this makes a fun Lakers season that would have otherwise been an exhausting one. We had to deal with Anthony Davis injuries and LeBron drama, the latter of which will never go away, but at least this makes it tolerable. The Lakers are not really poised to win the season anyways, with the team all but confirming it. There's more of a gap year to 2027 and 2028, where we can offload LeBron's contract, open up some cap room, and unlock access to some picks for another splashy trade. But no, the issue here lies with the type of play that Luka is playing. Revenge ball. The title of this video isn't called what it's called for no reason. The Count of Monte Cristo is one of my favorite books ever, and if you have not read it, I highly recommend that you do. But to give a quick summary though, The Count of Monte Cristo is a classic tale of betrayal and revenge, following Edmond Dantes, a young sailor falsely imprisoned for treason on his wedding day. After escaping a 14-year wrongful incarceration, he acquires a vast fortune, assumes the persona of the Count of Monte Cristo, and systematically punishes those responsible for his ruin. The book tackles many themes, one of which being that of revenge. In the end, he learns that his vendetta did not satisfy him, but only made him feel hollow. All his years spent trying to get payback were wasted ones. That reminds me of Luka Magic, and he's not the only one. We've seen this tale before. Kobe Bryant in his MVP season, after missing the playoffs and being written off as a ball hog, was dropping monster numbers, but failed to even reach the finals. James Harden was being hailed as being an even greater offensive player than MJ, but after losing out on an MVP and not being able to take down the KD-less Warriors, he also failed to win with that solid play. Where these two players differ is important. Kobe Bryant took a step back from his high-usage ball in favor of a team-oriented one, and instead learned how to be a leader. He then went to win back-to-back titles. James Harden kept on his ways and to this day is stuck on a middling, cheating Clippers team that still has no chance championships. These are the two paths that Luka Doncic could possibly take, and I'm sure he'll make the right decision, for he is the Count of Monte Lakers.
May we come up? You find your own tree.
Did you like it?
Yeah. But it made me feel sorry for Mercedes.
Why?
Because he cared more about revenge than he did about her.